Hey everyone, welcome to Top 5 Talk. It's been a while since you've seen us. As you can see, we have our first special guest here today, Mr. Bryson C. with us. And you can also see that we're a little bunched up against this table. Here, hopefully by the next episode, we'll have our studio together and we won't be so tight. We're getting really close today. That's just how it is. So today, by request on our Instagram, you all asked that we would talk about our top 5 shoe brands. Okay, so we're kind of divulging away from food for this episode and maybe for next episode too. So we're going to talk about our top 5 shoe brands starting at number 5, going all the way to the top. I will say before we get started that we did make an executive decision to consider Nike and Jordan 2 separate brands on this episode. I understand not everybody feels that way, so if that's not how you feel about it, sorry, but we're going to treat Nike and Jordan as if they're 2 different brands. We understand that, Jordan falls under Nike, but, at times they are their own kind of shoes. So that's how we're going to treat it, and if you don't think so, sorry, I guess you won't know what our number 5 is for real if you think that those 2 are the same. So anyway, that's what we're up to today. And so I think who wants to start us off here with our with their number 5? That's right. Hannah's going to give hers at the end. It's going to be me and Bryson giving our top 5 during the and there goes her alarm. During the actual video, Hannah's going to give hers at the end. So I'll go ahead and start off with my number 5 favorite shoe brand. This is just across a variety of shoes. It doesn't necessarily have to be any particular kind of shoe. It doesn't have to be like sports, athletic, tennis shoes. It doesn't have to be dress shoes. It could just be any kind of shoe. What is our favorites? And so my number 5 favorite shoe brand is going to be Adidas. Now, here's the thing about Adidas. I really haven't had very many Adidas shoes over my life. Okay, but that's exactly why.
I'm wearing Adidas as we're doing this.
You've got them on. I really only wear like 3 brands of shoes. So making this list was extremely hard.
The same. It's like he rotates them within its own course.
I had a really hard time making a list, but I will say I've had Adidas. I love Adidas shoes. They're good. That's all I can really say about them. I don't have much more to say because I haven't wore a pair in a long time, but I really liked the pair I had. And if I had had more pairs, that might be why they might be higher on my list. I don't know.
I like them.
Solid pick.
Yeah.
Bryson?
Starting off strong.
Bryson, what's your number 5?
My top 5 is a very comfortable shoe. It's gonna have to be Adidas.
Oh, imagine that.
It's a solid running shoe, and they're just very comfortable all in all. That's about it.
Yeah, yeah. It's with Adidas. Like I think their design. If I'll give it points for its design, like the little 3 bars that kind of run down the side. I think those looks really cool on shoes. So, man, that was a pretty quick number 5. Hemi, you got any thoughts on that?
I have Adidas. Of course, I'll say this at the end, but I'll give you a hint. It's in my top 5.
Is it number 5, like the rest of us?
No. But
Okay.
I'll tell you what. My favorite specific ones are the Ultra Boost. And normally, if you know me, not a lot of people know this about me, but if you know me well enough, if I think a shoe or anything in general is comfortable, or I just want to have more of, I will get the same shoe twice. And that's what I did with Adidas. That's weird. I have 2 pairs of white Adidas Ultra Boosts, and I think a pair of black ones too, but because they're so comfortable. And normally, when we're working or just a shoe you use just to walk in general, like on every day, or maybe you got to run errands or whatever, it's a pretty comfortable shoe in my opinion. But then again, I'm a girl, and I own like 500 pairs of shoes.
So you're good with us both putting it in our top 5. You respect that decision.
Yeah, for one.
I feel like Adidas, I mean, they're known for shoes, but they're also known for a lot of other things. Like, I probably have more Adidas just, like, apparel and clothing than I do shoes. Like I said, I've only had, like, 1 pair of Adidas shoes, but, like, they're known for a lot of other things, too. So that gives them some points. Number 4. My number 4 favorite shoe brand. All of my shoe brands that are on here are probably going to be, they're all athletic shoes in some form or fashion. That's mostly what I wear. I wear dress shoes, when I have to, but if I can get away with wearing athletic shoes, tennis shoes, whatever, I do it. My number 4 is another brand that I really haven't had a lot of over the years, but I really did like them when I had them, and that's, I really don't even know how to pronounce this properly. I feel like it's going to sound awful. Saucony?
Saucony.
Is that how you pronounce it?
I don't
or
know.
Saucony, Saucony. If you've ever seen those, they've got it looks like toothpaste across your shoe, like the
3 little dots.
yeah, with 3 little dots in the middle of it. Saucony. I really like those shoes. They're really comfortable, and I had a pair of running Saucony shoes at one point, and they were really really nice. And I actually almost kind of forgot about those shoes until the other day. I saw somebody wearing a pair of them, but I've always really liked the Saucony or Saucony. However you tell us. How do you think it's pronounced? I know that over comments it's a little hard, but if you know how to put the little dashes and put the emphasis on certain letters, tell us. But I like Saucony shoes. I would buy a pair. I don't really see them a lot when I go out to buy shoes. I guess they're there, but there's just not as many options.
You weren't lying when they said they look like toothpaste.
It looks like when you
But
look
they
at the
look
crest symbol, on
Yeah.
Crest toothpaste. That's what I think of when I see
They look
Saucony.
comfortable.
But yeah, they're comfortable shoes, and I especially liked my pair of running shoes I had in them, and I just never got around, I guess, to buying any more shoes. Because the thing about me, and this is an awful way to be, but I definitely pick shoes initially based on design and appearance. Like if I think they're ugly shoes, I don't care how comfortable they are, I'm not buying them. And it's so like I look at appearance first, and then I kind of dish out from there if I think they're comfortable. But a lot of times, if I think they're good looking, I subconsciously decide that they're comfortable already, even if they're not. I've bought a few pairs of shoes that I was like, man, those are awesome looking shoes. Tried them on, thought, man, that's great, been good. But after a while, I was like, man, these really aren't comfortable. And I'm sure that's probably why I haven't bought Saucony shoes lately, because although I really like them, I don't think their design choices are always appealing to me. Their color schemes and stuff like that, they're not always the most appealing. And there's not a lot of options compared to like seeing some of these other brands like Nike and stuff. So I don't know.
They're very comfortable though.
Yeah, I love them. I need to invest in another pair of Saucony. Saucony.
A pair of just new shoes. Just to upgrade your wardrobe, shoes.
Him is over here dissing on my wardrobe. Here's the thing. I'm a very simple person. I don't need a lot of things.
Just get you a couple pairs of shoes that's white and black and go wrong with everything.
Right.
There you go.
Right,
I have
right.
I have a pair of black shoes. Like 2 pairs of black shoes.
But you need some in the mix, like what in black. Boom. Well, we'll talk more later. All right, Bryson.
Okay.
What's your yours?
My top my 4 is gonna have to go to New Balance.
Mhm.
New Balance is kind of like baseball sided because I have a pair of metal cleats and a pair of turfs, and they're both comfortable. But with baseball cleats, the metals, usually in most baseball cleats you can feel the metal for the bottom of them when running or anything. But those, it's like wearing normal tennis shoes and you can't tell.
Yeah.
And then the turfs, if you're running in them, they're I feel like they're more cushioned than any other turfs because I had a pair of Nike turfs and they was nowhere as near as comfortable as New Balance.
Mm-hmm.
New Balance is a good shoe. I had a lot of New Balance growing up.
And they also have really, really good running shoes too.
Yeah.
I agree, yeah. And I think kind of like what Micah, you were saying earlier about the appearance of a shoe or like the design. New Balance has really like we've every now and then when we've gone to like the shoe store or whatever, or like just any shoe store or whatever, we're just looking around. New Balance, like some of their color schemes together look.
They have good looking shoes. Yeah,
they
they know how to blend colors
They're
and
really
stuff.
smooth,
Yeah.
Mhm.
like sleek.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. They know how to blend colors for sure. That's just facts. That's why I'm wearing a pair of New Balance right now. It's the first pair of New Balance I've had in a while, but I always liked them as a kid. But like this pair it's a beautiful pair of shoes, and I've gotten so many compliments on them for the design. And it's just like a brick red and navy design. They're solid at designing the color schemes and stuff. So I don't know.
I think also what I like about New Balance is that like there's different designs, like kind of like how Bryson was saying that there's some that like maybe specifically for running or like their appearance on them too. Like if you want a classic sneaker, they have options like that because not everybody wants to wear running shoes or tennis shoes every day. Maybe you just want to get like certain sneakers or a certain style that you can wear when you're going out or yada this and yada that. Like I don't know. I think New Balance provides different possibilities. That's just my thought.
For sure.
Big. I don't know what I just said there, but I said something. Tell me what you think I said on there because it was like a tongue twister. But anyway, so my number 3, we're going off to number 3. My number 3 favorite shoe, and this one's moving its way up. This one's moving its way up, and I would say that I did hit the blank space because I realized I actually kind of messed up my list a little bit because I said we are going to treat Jordan and Nike as separate, and then now that I'm telling you my list, I'm not treating them as separate. But this is number 3, and that's Puma. Pumas have like taken the world by storm here recently. I've never had a pair until about a year and a half ago. I love the pair, and I actually went and bought another pair of the same kind. I think they were a different size, but I bought the same kind. Love the shoes. Like, they're really comfortable, really easy to get on and off. And Puma, I feel like I'm seeing more people here and there with like Puma shoes or Puma gear or all that kind of stuff. Like, it's becoming more common, and I'm really liking Puma. There's actually a couple pairs I'd love to get, and I've considered getting just because I liked the first two pairs I got. And I mean, they're just great shoes all around, and they're designed perfectly for my foot, just the way that the two pairs I've gotten. I like them a lot, and I think I'll be buying more Pumas as I can go on.
Rawr. Because you said Puma, I just had to.
Oh,
But I think one reason why they came more back in style is because it's kind of an older shoe, and like now
Yeah.
they're where the fashion design's kind of going back to a retro style.
yeah.
That's how most of their shoes was, and now they're kind of making their way
Right.
back into fashion.
You're right. You're
Right.
right.
I love them. I'll definitely buy more Pumas, and because they're awesome. I don't think I can inch them above my other 3 technically if you separate Jordan and Nike, my 3 favorites.
Still a pretty good shoe. It's kind of hard to put a list together because there's not really much bad shoe brands.
That's true.
That's right,
That's very
yeah.
true. Yeah.
I like Pumas.
Puma has some really good basketball shoes.
Yeah. I mean, I don't have a pair of basketball shoes.
Growing up when we would play like soccer and stuff like that, that's what most of like the kids like their cleats or gear and stuff like their go-to was Puma, just because of like, especially like the front part of the designs of most shoes, like they're smooth and flat, and that but when you were able to use them for like sports, they were able to get like a better grip, if that makes sense on it. So
They're also really light and really
Yeah.
cheap. They're really cheap.
Yeah,
shoes.
that's the thing. Yeah, I forgot to say that they're very light shoes. That's what I like about them. Like the pair I have, like you wouldn't know you were holding anything if you didn't see it in your hand. Like they are extremely light, and that makes it easier to run, to walk, just anything. That's what appealed to me about the first pair.
Yeah.
The first pair I got was probably lighter than the second pair, but man, yeah, they are extremely light, and it makes it very, very easy. That's my number 3.
alrighty,
My
yeah.
number 3, a lot of the younger generation is going to agree with me on this, and a lot of people won't, the older people, because it was kind of the shoe of people that didn't have much money back then, but now it's kind of a popular shoe, is Crocs.
Mm.
They're very special after athletic games like basketball,
Oh my gosh,
where
yes.
you're moving a lot, and you have to wear kind of a tighter shoe, but when you put those on, it's just like the best feeling in the world.
Yeah.
But they've came way back in fashion. I remember when you used to be able to get them at like dollar store and stuff. Now they're famous and everywhere.
Yeah, they are big nowadays. I kind of have a thing against Crocs. Well, first of all,
Old guys.
here we go. Yeah, I don't. For one, I don't wear Crocs, but really part of that is because like I don't like wearing shoes that I feel like are falling off. I used to get made fun of so
Put
bad.
them in 4-wheel drive.
Yeah.
And well, I mean, yeah, but even then they're really loose on you because you can't tighten them like with the string or anything.
But for sandals, they have
Okay.
really good traction.
People used to make a lot of fun of me in school, and I think it's hilarious because I tie my shoes so
He's
tight
cutting off his circulation every time
because
he's tying his
I
shoe.
cannot stand
If you know Mike, you know.
I cannot stand the thought of my shoe feeling like it's gonna come off my foot. And I know it's probably not going to just because I don't tie it super tight, but I tie all my shoes tight. So what I can't stand about Crocs is that like there's no way. I mean, they're just slip on, slip off, and so like there's no way to like tighten them or anything like that. And yes, you can put them in 4-wheel drive. I understand that, but like that's still not the same. Like I could still get my foot out of that really easily if I'm not, it could still come off or whatever. So I don't like it for that reason. But also when I was in first grade, there was a girl, I think this is really what did it in for me. When I was in first grade, there was a girl in Crocs, and she was walking in front of me, and her Crocs slipped off, and she leaned down. When you still had to walk one by one in line or whatever, and you had a specific place, her Crocs slipped off, and she leaned down to adjust it and put it back on. She came back up, bumped me. My glasses went right into my eyebrow, and I got 3 stitches there. You can actually still see the scar today, and I blame it on a Croc. That girl's Croc. If her Croc hadn't come off, which, big deal, I lived, but if her Croc hadn't come off, I wouldn't have a scar on my eyebrow right now. So, sorry, Crocs. I can't.
Blame it on a girl that couldn't help it.
Man, how dare you?
She could help because she had
girl.
Crocs.
Yeah.
She could have got a different shoe that day.
If you're the little girl that's watching this,
She's not little anymore.
Oh, well,
she's
you're
my
the
age.
little
She's
girl
like
that
20.
was-
She's in her early 20s.
It was Micah's age or whatever, and you did that. Please calm down.
I don't remember her name. I doubt she'll ever see this video.
No, well, if he seems recognizable, there he is. But I kind of go with Bryson though. I'm sorry. I feel most of the time I'm agreeing with Bryson, but I wear Crocs, and Micah hates that I wear Crocs. I think because
I'm not. You can wear Crocs if you want to.
'Cause
Doesn't
I
bother me.
No, he can't wear them.
I'm just not gonna wear them.
He's a bum, first of all. Second of all, I also like the fact, like, kind of like what Bryson was saying, though. After, like, practices or games, and, like, of course, I did dance growing up and soccer and stuff like that. So, and for all my dancers out there, or just even cheerleaders, sometimes, like, the shoes that you're made to wear, or, like, for me, I wore jazz shoes. So that was, like, almost like you're touching pretty much anything that's on the floor. Like, it's barely any material holding you back from the ground and everything. So
Material girl.
of course, oh my gosh. Anyways, I forgot the word. Oh my goodness. Before I was interrupted, I like Crocs. They're comfortable, and like I think too, like the platform of them, like on the inside, it's almost like it's not
They're
smooth, but
squishy.
it's
It's like a foam, but it's not.
yeah, it's like it
shoes.
provides comfortability. So when you're walking and everything, and like I also like that you get to put like little charms, or what are those things called that you put on them? You get to customize.
I know
or
what you're talking
whatever.
about.
Yeah.
I know what you're talking about.
And not to mention, of course,
I can't remember what they're
I
called.
don't know if I could do this, but people are wearing fuzzy Crocs now during the winter. But there's been a recent trend where a lot of women are wearing them now for like
Gibbets.
Jibbits.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, speaking of that, there's a lot of people that are like now wearing them like for like I saw someone recently, I think on TikTok or whatever, that are using that as their wedding shoes and everything to be comfortable. Because I ain't gonna blame you if you're gonna be in heels all day. But I mean, I just like Crocs, and not to mention different designs, different styles. And there's even like Croc sandal, like different
Croc bags. They make Croc bags now.
Crocs has copied Birkenstocks now too, and they have
Yeah.
something exactly
Oh
like
my!
So
Wow.
I mean,
I didn't
all
know that.
for a comfortable shoe at a good. I mean, I
at a good $60.
Yeah, that too. $60 to get a shoe with holes in it and no string. Can't do that.
It's comfortable.
I-
Though.
watch. I'm
Oh, I mean,
surprised
I don't
Michael
care.
One day with a pair of Crocs.
To me, comfortable is if it can stay on my foot by tying it really tight. But that's just me. I don't know. Everybody thinks I'm weird. I just
When we have
Sorry.
kids, I'm gonna make sure they own a pair of Crocs.
that goes back to like like people think I'm weird because I tie my shoes tight. That brings up the question: what side? This is completely unrelated. What side of the shower do you get in on? Do you
What?
get in on the side that you turn the water on, or do you get in on the opposite side?
On the opposite side?
Mm-hmm.
Do you get in on the side that the water's on?
Yeah, there you
Yeah,
turn
I
on
do.
at. Yeah.
No.
Why would you not?
You get in on the opposite
Everybody be like,
side.
Oh, I gotta wait till it warms up on the other side. You can. I mean, you can't because you're too tall, but you can just step right under it
I
and it's
think
not
it
touching you yet.
depends. I think it just depends on like the size of the shower, like like the size of the shower.
that's fair. Yeah.
Because
Most all showers are small.
If it's a
well, like cause some showers,
Square.
like your regular showers, like in your normal bathrooms, whatever, like they're more wide in my opinion. But then like other places, like if you go to church camp or different places, there's like
you have to walk in under
Yeah.
the shower. Like there's no option.
So, like,
yeah.
I don't know. I think it just depends.
No, that's the whole point. I brought that up is because everybody's just different. You know,
So
I've
random.
been called weird for not wanting to wear shoes that could fall off my feet at
On
any
the shower
moment.
topic, whenever you have a shower head, do you like it coming straight or coming straight down? Like towards you or going straight down to the
Towards me.
Towards me, it has
Yeah.
to go towards.
I mean, it probably has to go towards you. You're too tall for it to
Yeah,
just
gotcha.
like do that, don't you?
lean down just to
Man.
get my hair wet.
Man.
I think about that sometimes when I'm in the shower. I'm like, dude, like if I were 6'5", this shower, it wouldn't even be touching my neck. Anyway, unrelated. All right, we're gonna go to number two. Number two favorite. That was your number three, right? So our number two favorite shoe, and I'm gonna have to go with on mine, New Balance. I mentioned I was wearing New Balance today. New Balance are great shoes, and I really love them. I think. Like we talked about a minute ago, you know, their designs are great. They've always been super comfortable shoes, some of the most comfortable shoes you can find. And I also think in terms of design, I don't know why it is, but their big N always appeals to me when it's on the side of a shoe. It just looks really cool. I don't know, how can somebody make a letter like that look so cool? I don't know, but New Balance does it.
I was like, what?
New Balance, I mean, they know how to make the letter N look good on a shoe.
Or even just like the font on some, like, because sometimes
Yeah.
they have the word in the back, like towards the heel, and it says New Balance.
Which N is probably one of those letters that, in a general sense, you can make look good on a shoe.
Kind of like a U, like
Yeah,
University of Miami.
Yeah, it's like designed to look like
U.
that. Like try and put an S on a shoe. It's not conducive to that. It's not design like the design of S, the shape
Well,
of
the
S.
only S I know is like Skechers.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Gonna
that
prove
proves
your
the point.
point.
Yeah, I forgot about Skechers. Man, I should have put them in my top five. Those were the shoes back in the day, man. Man, I love Skechers,
Man,
but
the kids is a light up Skechers.
yeah.
Yeah.
No, were the wheelies? Were the Skechers that had the wheels in the bottom? I never had a pair of those. I always wanted one, but every once in a while I see somebody. Yeah.
When
I scrap my original list. Put Skechers at number 5 because I forgot about those. Those are good shoes, fun shoes to wear. I had a bunch of Skechers when I was a kid. And I knew a kid that he skipped a grade. He was so smart, but he couldn't even tie his shoes in 5th grade, so he just wore Skechers with the little strap-on stuff for like all of elementary school and middle school.
this is your sign to learn how to tie your shoes if you don't already.
You should probably speak into this mic. I think yours is not working.
Oh. If you don't know how to tie your shoes, please watch a YouTube video on how to tie your shoes.
I learned.
There's actually
Man.
a dude on YouTube, and he does these things. He's called it's like Teaching Sons or something, but it's all for kids because he never had a dad.
Yeah,
And
thanks,
it's
Dad.
Yeah.
It's thanks,
people
Dad, or
would
something like
that
that.
would teach them stuff
Yeah.
like how to change a tire,
Yeah.
how to shave, how to tie your shoes, stuff like that. The kids.
Yeah.
Oh.
You know how I found out how to tie a double knot? When I was in middle school, I never could tie. I could tie my shoes for years, but I couldn't tie a double knot. I didn't understand the concept, and I figured out how to tie a double knot because I was tying the trash one night, and I tied a double knot on the trash, and I've been doing it for years. And I said, "Whoa, what if I tried this on my shoelaces?" I was in like 6th grade. I was like, "Yo, I just figured out
I call
how to
it
do this
bunny
tying a
ears.
trash." Yeah, I mean, well, everybody does the bunny ears like before you do
No.
double knot.
What is it?
But like a double knot, I'd never done it
Wait,
before,
is the
and
double
I
knot-
learned it tying trash
Is the
bags.
double knot the one where you start with a hoop or a loop or whatever, and then you go around it, whatever everybody does?
Double knot, yeah.
Is that what that one is?
Yeah, you take your 2 bunny ears. you know.
No.
I mean, you can.
That's how I do it.
Which
That's
one-
yeah.
I need a pair of shoes right now. It's. Hold on.
Take them off.
Okay, hold up. No. Oh. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So of course y'all probably can't see, but course you time I do my 2 bunny ears and then loop them like that. But what's the one? Is that what you're the one where you loop? For some people,
No, you
What's
just tie
the-
your shoe and then you tie it kind of just like tying it again. That's a
Yeah, you
double
just
knot.
squeeze
But
these
when
together.
you tie it like that, it's just
Squeeze them
one
together
strand.
and then just.
I could never understand that concept of doing the one loop. I could not.
What?
2 bunny ears. Like if I work in an elementary school and some of the
Bunnies.
kids, they're like, Miss Hemma, can you tie my shoes? So I'm like, yeah, of course. And I teach them, I'm telling you, get your 2 bunny ears. That's the quickest, like it's a fun, creative way. I don't know. It's just a creative way for them to understand the concept. So when I see other people do the whole one loop, all that, I'm like, what on earth is that? Like, I can't fathom that. I can't.
Okay, so don't take 2 shoe tying lessons from any of us, obviously.
Yeah.
All right, so my number 2 is New Balance. Bryson, go ahead with your number
My
2.
number 2 is going to have to be Jordans or Air Jordans. They're
Big guy, yeah.
some of my favorite shoes, but they're so expensive now. It's hard to get them. One of my favorite shoes of all time is probably going to have the Jordan 1. That's one reason
Yeah.
why they're on is number 2. But they're a lot of their shoes it's more like how you were saying it, like the more design side.
Oh,
I like
yeah.
their designs, but a lot of their shoes kind of ain't comfortable. but I love the
easily. Yeah, I know what you mean by the comfortability of them, but their designs are top notch. And I love Jordans. Jordans are great, and
I agree.
if you really just go to their website, like you could probably find 15 shoes like just like that you're like, dude, I'd love to have that pair. I'd love to have that pair. And
but then you look at the price and you're like,
yeah, exactly.
Their style, the design is nice, but the price.
Okay,
nice.
but on the flip side, and this is a problem that Nike has too, which I'll bring up, is some color schemes that Jordan and Nike pick are horrendous.
Yeah.
Some of their color schemes are absolutely horrendous.
But-
You'd never catch me outside with those shoes.
But they have so many different designs. It's really
That's true.
super easy to find something that you like
That's true.
I'll say this though, like on some you can customize.
on Nike.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
You can
Nike
choose.
by you.
Yeah, you can.
Yeah, that's true.
choose your own color.
That's
So,
true.
It's also like $20 more, but
Yeah.
Yeah.
Extra surface.
Man.
That's the way to be. So he's got Jordans for number 2. All right, so we're going to do our quick dishonorable mention real quick. That means a shoe brand that we can't stand. I'll tell you, I had trouble coming up with a dishonorable mention. I mentioned that I don't like Crocs, but I don't think they're so awful that I'm like, I couldn't stand them. I'd never wear them. I've worn them before. I'm trying to think of like a shoe brand that's like so blazingly awful, and I really couldn't. So I'm just gonna go with those shoes you have to wear at the bowling alley.
that's mine.
Because those are awful.
bad. It's like dress shoes, but way harder.
It's like wearing
Steel-toe boots.
clown feet or something. Like you got big old clown shoes. I did have a pair of shoes that a good friend of mine gave me that were an off-brand Converse, and they had guitars on them. and I didn't wear them very often because they didn't match anything. But they had like guitars on them and stuff, and that's like it felt like you were at the bowling alley all day long.
Okay,
so thin.
You're at the bowling alley, and the whole point of them is to keep your feet protected because it's
Yeah.
kind of hard and you ain't gonna drop them. But the bowling alley is made out of hardwood, which can be
Yeah.
kind of slick, and those things have no traction. It's just
You're
flat on the
right.
bottom.
Yeah.
When you go to the bowl, it's just like you're on an ice skating rink.
Oh man, yeah.
Yes.
They're such bad shoes. Which I mean, obviously, bowling alleys only have
But
so
then-
much money to
but-
spend
but
on them.
Whenever
But
you're my size and you go, there's never none big enough.
yeah, I imagine.
Usually.
Oh man, those
Man.
bowling alley shoes, they're bad, and so you won't catch us wearing those in public, which you're not supposed to anyway. But
You're
that's just
right.
awful. I love bowling.
You go
Don't like the shoes.
a clown.
Yeah, that's basically what it is. And get them Ronald McDonald feet going, man. All right, well that's our dishonorable mentions. Both of us had the same one there. So we're going to go to our number 1. Now, I said earlier I kind of messed up my list. We'll recap our list at the end of this episode briefly before we get finished, but I sort of messed up my list because I said we were going to treat Jordan and Nike as 2 separate things, and then when I started my list, I forgot. I made an initial list as if they were the same, and I started speaking off of that list. So I'm going to say number 1, Jordan and Nike together. If I had to put one above the other, I'm actually going to probably put Jordan above Nike for all their different designs and stuff. If we're just talking just pure Jordan shoes, but Jordan and Nike at number 1, I mean, you just can't beat them. Nike has been the gold standard for shoes for ages. I mean, as long as I've been, when I was a kid, I talked about I had Skechers, New Balance as a kid, but like I definitely had a lot of Nike too. There was probably several years there where the only kinds of tennis shoes, athletic shoes, running shoes I got were Nike. Like that's all I had. It was just with that little awesome streak there. They've got great shoes. They've got the most variety of shoes. They've got great designs. Some of their designs are super ugly, and then other designs are like, man, I'd wear that in a heartbeat. Now this isn't Nike, and everybody says it's not my style. I really don't care what's my style or not. My style is just gonna be whatever I feel like wearing or whatever's comfortable, which is typically pretty bland on me. But I had a pair of Under Armour Curries. I still have them. My mom threatened to throw them away all the time, and they're like pink, purple, green, and blue.
Oh,
man,
yes, I know.
Nike shoes that are like those kind of color schemes, like the neon colors, they're beautiful shoes. There was a pair that was very similar to those. They were like neon pink and blue, and they were at Hibbett's there in Glasgow recently, and I looked at them. I was like, man, like I really want those shoes. I ended up buying the New Balances just because they're a little bit more appealing to the eyes, but I think that Nike, they've got it down in the design department, aside from some of the color schemes occasionally, but also the comfortability, the variety of shoe options they have. I think there's obviously no way to beat that. And, of course, Jordan as well. They've got a variety of options that are just amazing. Love them. That's my number 1.
My number 1 is going to have to go to Nike. if we're splitting them. But Nike's so good because they range in super cheap to super expensive shoes at the same time. Like you can find a really good pair of Nike shoes for super cheap.
Yeah.
And as a kid, I grew up on Nike. I love Nike. I still love Nike. They're all comfortable, but they're not as comfortable as Adidas. But they're still super comfortable. They're good running shoes too. I have a pair, and all around just a great brand.
Yeah, I love it. There's a Nike store down there in Pigeon Forge. We went to it a couple times. It was a Nike clearance store, and they've always got like loads of shoes down there marked down to like, they're always the shoes that people didn't buy, so a lot of their designs are the really ugly ones. But you can find like a variety of shoes in any size, marked down to like $30 for like a really nice pair of Nike shoes. And it's awesome. Nike, they're the gold standard of shoes. So Hama's going to briefly give her list, and then me and Bryson will do a quick recap of our 1 through 5 list because I got to switch mine back up anyway. Hama, what's your top 5? Start with your dishonorable mention and then go 5 to 1. Tell us. You don't actually have to explain it. Just tell us what they are.
All right. So my dishonorable mention, Vans. I don't know. I think it looks good on some people, but not everybody should be wearing them. Specifically, this brings me this just reminds me of high school in general. The white slip-on Vans that everybody wears, only for them to get dirty, step in like a puddle.
You have coffee stains on them.
Yes. Like, oh my goodness, I just can't. Like, I don't know.
Basic white girls.
Anyways, which okay, I can't argue with some though, because if you like a good white if you like white shoes, like that's me. I probably have more white shoes than I probably should, and I'm like probably one of the messiest people. But still, anyways, so my top 5. So going from 5 to 1. 5, I put Jordans. I wore Jordans growing up, but I think it's just the price for me, and I'm broke, so yeah. But number 4, Adidas. I've mentioned that they're comfortable. Wearing some right now, and I even got 2 pairs of like the same shoe. Going number 3, Nike. I put that in the middle because I grew up wearing Nike also, but then even though they're more towards narrow foot style, and I ain't got no narrow foot. You're joking if you think or you think you're funny if you think I do. No, I got a wide foot. I'm chunky, okay? So Nike has just been in the middle. I think I wear Nike more for style than comfortability, and I think that's what I base it on. Number 2, New Balance. After I got into I had a minor dance injury when I was in college, and they recommended me to wear New Balance, and that was the first time I ever wore New Balance, and I've stuck to it since. And then my number 1. I started wearing them recently, but, they're my favorite go-tos. Comfortable, all-day comfort. I work in the schools, and, all around, just good. And it's Hoka's. They have different designs, and you could even take a shoe quiz.
Hoka.
Focus.
So if you need to find your style or the right shoe for you, take your quiz on there, and it'll guide you and lead you to the right path. Thank you.
Wear the Hoka Pokas
and
you turn yourself around.
4 inches taller.
Yeah, they are.
I
thought about getting a pair of Hokas.
And all my short friends. There you go. Get tall.
All right, cool. So quick recap of my list. I'm going to do my list again, but with Nike and Jordan separated. Okay, so knock Adidas out of there. Number 5, Saucony, whatever it is. Number 5, Saucony. Number 4, Puma. Number 3, New Balance. Number 2, Nike. Number 1, Jordan. Bryson, recap your list real quick for us.
My number 5 is Adidas. Number 4, New Balance. Number 3, Crocs. 2, Jordans. And 1, Nike.
Awesome. There you have it, guys. So that's our top 5 talk for today. We're going to share some of this on Instagram, TikTok, obviously on YouTube. Comment. Let us know whose list you liked the most, whose you agree with. Let us know some of your shoes maybe that we didn't mention. Let us know what you want to hear about next from us, and we'll bring on some more guests to the show. So thank you all for watching today. Have a great week.
Adios.
Rawr.